Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Wake Up Wednesday. So I'm going to dive straight into it because I do not want this to be long, and this time I mean it. And today I wanted to talk to you guys. Oh wait, grab a drink, grab a snack, all of that good stuff, and then we can get started. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that might be a little bit sensitive, reminding you listening, you out there, that you may not be the one. Did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. This is just something that I thought about, and I sat down and I said, do you know what? Not everybody can be a Martin Luther King. Not everybody can be an Oprah or a Gayle. Not that many people want to be them right now, but you know what I mean. Not everybody can be a Wendy Williams, a Charlemagne the God. Not everybody can be a Barack Obama. Not everybody can be a Sir Alan Sugar, Richard Branson. All the names and all the people that you know and that you probably love and that you aspire to be like, and you see them on stages around the world, owning businesses, doing all of these incredible things. Maybe it's just not you, and you have to learn how to be okay with that. I think we're in a time right now where there's this obsession with winning and this obsession with being in the limelight, and if you're not in the limelight, and if you're not up there, and if you're not the person in front of the camera, if you're not the person that's on the stage, then it must mean that you're less than, or that you can't make as much money, or that you can't be as influential, or that you can't make as much of an impact. Let me remind you right now that those are all lies, okay? Someone might be in front of the camera. For example, I was watching an interview, just really random, but I was watching an interview today with Nia Long, who is like 50, beautiful, incredible actress. She's amazing at what she does. And yes, while she might get, you know, recognized on the street, while she might have her name in lights, while she might be the person that, you know, when you walk out on the street, you will be like, yeah, you know exactly who Nia Long is. There are so many other successful people that make her work a reality. So in order for her to be an actress and be in front of the camera, she needs to have a director, a producer, have a lighting engineer, sound engineer, whatever it is. Those people are still important, and they still make an impact, irrespective of the fact that they are not necessarily in front of the camera. It's really important for us to be able to sit back and have a moment to think, where do I need to be positioned? Because maybe you are chasing something that you are not even built for. So the reason why I also say this is because I often get a lot of people come up to me, which is an amazing thing for people to say, and it's such an honor that people feel this about me. You know, people will come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, I just want to be like you. You know, you just inspire me so much. I want to be like you. Like, you know, even if I'm a fraction of who you are, I want to be that. Now, the first thing I always say to them immediately, I say, listen, don't ever say that again in your entire life. Not just to me, but to anybody else. You don't want to be like me. You want to be like the best version of yourself. That person, they might be like, oh my gosh, I just wish that, you know, one day I have the confidence to stand up on stages and travel the world and do this and do that. And maybe for that particular individual, that's their calling. But maybe for another individual, that's not their calling. Maybe what they are supposed to do is behind the scenes, or maybe they are supposed to be the behind the scenes director or the producer that makes it easier for those that need to be in front of the camera, or in order for someone to produce a certain message and to make impact in a certain way, maybe they're supposed to be the person behind that, not necessarily the person in front of the camera or on the stage or on the mic. It doesn't make you any less important to be someone behind the scenes. It doesn't make you any less important to be somebody who is not necessarily that name that is plastered everywhere for marketing purposes. It's okay to be that. It's okay to be an introvert. It's okay to want to, you know, step back and to make an impact from behind. It's okay. I am so sure that there were 1,001 other Martin Luther Kings or Malcolm X's, but we only saw Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Now, I can't tell you why those people were specifically chosen, you know, but that is what was called for their life. That is what the purpose of their life was. And thank God, thank goodness that they stood in formation and they did what they had to do. But there were probably hundreds, and not even probably, I guarantee you there are hundreds and thousands of other people whose names are not even known, whose names are not written in history books. They didn't get the accolades, they didn't get the books written about them, they didn't get the school projects that are done about them, but they were just as necessary to the movement, the civil rights movement, the liberation of black people, the drive for equality and rights for black people, just as much as the Martin Luther Kings and the Rosa Parks and the Malcolm X's, just as valued, but they just didn't get the accolades. Now, if you are only doing something in order for you to do the accolades, really ask yourself, is that the right intention? Are you really doing it to serve people? Are you really doing it to make a difference in this world? Or are you doing it for you? Would you be okay if literally tomorrow you realize that, do you know what? I wasn't made to be in front of the camera, but it's okay because I can be a director. Do you think that you'll be able to take a step back and analyze yourself? Because there are certain people who don't even have the necessary skills, the necessary skill set, or the necessarily character or personality or attitude that is needed for that position. And yet you're forcing it anyway because you want the limelight, you want the fame, you want the likes, you want the followers, rather than thinking about the impact. And I think it speaks to the generation and the time that we're in right now, where too many people are driven by this false sense of desire, a false desire that is pushing them into a place that they were never even built for. You may never be that individual that necessarily gets all of the accolades and all of the praise and you get all of the awards on your face in magazines, but you better be damn sure that you work your ass off, that you still push, that you still leave behind your own version of a legacy. Now, I speak about it often when I do my talks, but maybe I need to make it a bit clearer on my channel. By me saying to you as an individual that you need to leave behind something, don't let your life go to waste. You need to leave behind your print, your imprint, your legacy. It doesn't necessarily mean that you do what I do. It doesn't necessarily mean that you become the next Oprah or the next Martin Luther King. I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm saying that in that whatever context, whatever form, whatever area, maybe in your local community, maybe in your family, leave behind a legacy that you can be proud of. It might not necessarily be a legacy in the form of, you know, fame and people talking about you like the Michael Jacksons and the Princes of the world. I'm not necessarily talking about that. But you could maybe just leave a legacy within your own family. You could maybe leave behind a legacy within your own community. The children in community know that you have changed their lives for generations to come. Maybe you live in a community where kids are going down the wrong path and you decide that you're going to start up a club or you're going to start something in that community. By you doing that, not necessarily for the accolades, and maybe you never get not one recognition, not one award, but you could leave an impact and you could change someone's life for generations to come. Maybe you are the one individual that because you started up that club, and I don't know why I'm specifically like, it's almost as though like I'm relaying someone's story, but you know, maybe you start up that club in your local community and you don't understand that you pull one boy, one girl out of a terrible, maybe even fatal situation, and instead they decide to change their life around. They raise a family, they do what they need to do because of what you deemed as being super small or something just in your community. You actually affected generations to come because maybe that one individual goes on to make an impact to other people in the world. Who the hell knows? But all I'm saying is that your name may not necessarily be in flashing lights. Your name may not necessarily be the names that are carried in history books. Your name may not necessarily be that. Now, if you want that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You better go for that and you charge for that and you work and you grind until you get that, because you guys know me. You know me, that I'm here to have my name stamped in history, and that's something that I'm very proud of. I'll never hide it, I'll never pretend. But this was just a thought, you know, for all the individuals that don't necessarily want that. And I just wanted to remind you that it's okay. It's okay for you to turn around and say, do you know what? I don't necessarily want to be famous or want to go and do interviews. I don't necessarily want to be on TV or anything like that. But I still want to make a difference. So you better work damn hard. In fact, you better work even harder than the people who have all the accolades and the awards and the TV interviews and the radio interviews. You better push harder than those people, because you know that you still have impact to make on this world, regardless of if you're ever applauded for it or not. So I'm gonna wrap it up right there, but it's just something for you to think about. You may not necessarily be the next Beyonce or Jay-Z. This is not me bursting your bubble. It's not me killing your dream, because many of us know, you know, we grow up in certain ways, we have certain characteristics, we have certain things about us. You know, when you hear singers and musicians do interviews, you always hear the same story. I started singing in the choir when I was a kid. I knew I was gonna be a musician since I was like 5 years old. You know, you hear the same story, and some of these things are deep rooted. And granted, there are some people who fall into industries and they're like, I never in a million years imagined to be here. It just happened, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm just speaking to any individual right now that feels a bit like, if I'm not in front of everyone, if I'm not written down in the history books, I didn't matter. And let me just remind you that that is not true. You make an impact in whatever way you want. Maybe you're not the person that's necessarily going to get certain things that you desire, but you can definitely lay the foundation so that it is right for the next person, so that it is right for your children, so that it is right for your children's children. You can lay the foundation, but you have to make a decision within yourself to do that. At the very least, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your children, you owe it to, and even those that don't have children right now, I'm speaking to even the children that you are yet to have, but you owe it to generations to come that will come through your bloodline, so that you know that even though you might not necessarily be that person up there on the TV, you might not necessarily be the person up there receiving awards, you still have work to do, and you better do it damn well. Anyway, that is it from me. You guys know I ramble. Sometimes this gets to going and I just get passionate, so I'm gonna draw myself back in right now. But thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed today's video. I also hope that you're enjoying the little bit of a different background that we got going on, honey, okay? I'm really excited because I was rearranging some stuff over the weekend so I can start filming at home again. I just feel like doing the whole taking all of my equipment, having to go into the, it was just very, very long. So I hope that you like the new setup. Let me know, because this will probably be the fixed setup until I then move into my marital home. Crazy. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. I love and appreciate you guys always, and I'll see you guys again next week for another Wake Up Wednesday. Stay beautiful.